Lauren, topic number 3. This kind of, I guess all the topics have kind of rolled together today, which is a good thing. I guess it makes a more fluid show. Mm-hmm. But topic 3 comes from Corey sent me a message the other day talking about Baron Corbin, and this had already been on my mind a little bit. But after the events of last Monday, we saw basically a split between JBL and Baron Corbin, right?
Yeah.
And wrestling news sites are reporting that Triple H has given up on trying to get Baron Corbin over with the fans. I thought I want to talk to you a little bit about like taking a deeper look at Baron Corbin and where it kind of what I think went wrong.
Okay.
So I don't know. I know you're not familiar with the history of Corbin when he had hair and when he was the lone wolf.
The only thing I remember him as King Corbin, and I did not like him.
So King Corbin is the beginning of your recollection of Corbin. So
yes.
Corbin had a pretty solid NXT career, but then he got called up to the main roster, and his gimmick was a lone wolf.
Okay.
Like he was kind of a loner, and his entrance was phenomenal. It was like the lights went off, they put a spotlight on him, he walked out, and he was kind of a powerhouse guy. And I think that they didn't give that gimmick enough time to breathe.
Okay.
And so that was a solid gimmick that a lot of people liked.
And when was that? Like, how long ago was that?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't have
I'll have to Google that.
So then from there, this is what you're talking about. Stephanie McMahon somehow reinserted herself back into WWE as an authority figure.
Okay.
And she brought Corbin on as, she called him Constable Corbin. He was her enforcer.
Okay.
And that's when he shaved his head, started wearing the suits. And that character was okay, but it was kind of, it was an immediate departure of the lone wolf character.
Yeah.
From there, he won King of the Ring and became King Corbin.
Yeah.
Which absolutely became the goofiest fucking gimmick. I hate when people win King of the Ring because it's like they immediately become goofy and have to act like a king. Queen Zelina.
Yeah.
Xavier did it the best. Xavier Woods, because he leaned into how stupid it is.
Yes.
Then from King Corbin, he became sad bum ass Corbin, which we've that's where we picked back up. Then he became Happy Corbin, which Happy Corbin, I guess, molded into the modern day wrestling god, which I can't differentiate Happy Corbin from the music was basically the same. The gimmick was basically the same.
Well, they still did like the money thing in the background.
There wasn't enough of a change. So the question is, what could WWE have done differently to make these gimmicks work? Well, first off, I don't know that they've ever committed to any of the gimmicks, right? Because the bum ass Corbin leading to Happy Corbin was good, but what did it mean when he became happy? Supposedly he was rich, but he should have drove out in fancy cars.
Yeah.
He should have been
like throwing money at people.
I've always thought, and this is a recycled gimmick, but I always thought like Baron Corbin would have worked if he was paying people to win. So if he goes to the match and in the middle of the match he's starting to lose and he pulls out $100 and hands it to him and they just lay down and he pins them.
That would be funny.
So he's paying. He should have paid his way to a title. That would have worked for Happy Corbin. But they never committed. They put him in the ring with McAfee, which was great. It worked perfectly. But it was just like when that ended, there was nowhere for him to go, and they were kind of lost. And then they did the thing where he went off with JBL, and I had laid it out, if you remember. I said, the way to book him with JBL was to have him leave, have JBL have him at his house, reteaching him, like, these gimmicks are stupid. You need to become the modern day wrestling god, which was great. Yeah. But they didn't commit to it. No. He was just Happy Corbin with JBL, who went to a bunch of poker games.
And those weird uniforms, like costumes that they gave him in the beginning. Remember where he kind of looked like a leather knight?
Yes,
and then like
I mean, nothing made he was destined to fail from the beginning. None of that made sense. Like, there were opportunities, but like having him go to poker games with JBL didn't make any sense. And then you book him as the modern day wrestling god and you have him losing matches. I don't understand why Triple H or the creative department, how they can look themselves in the mirror and go, that guy didn't get over. No, you didn't get him over. I don't know what Corbin could have done to make that character any more interesting. So I don't know what kind of creative control they have over their characters, but like There's no way that they expected that character to get over just because of JBL.
Yeah.
First off, JBL.
Because there's a lot of people who don't know I didn't know who he was really. Like,
who, JBL?
Yeah, like I mean, know of him.
I wouldn't say there's lots of people, but there are people who don't. But I would also say that I would argue that it became the JBL show when JBL was there. It was about JBL being funny and getting over, and nothing spotlighted Baron Corbin. Like, Baron Corbin already has a little bit of like a Greek look. He should have looked like a Greek god.
Oh,
he should have been
cool.
like a hardcore wrestler, like Greco-Roman wrestling, and really like laid into kind of what Gunther sells.
I wanted to see him as Cowboy Corbin. Like,
I mean, any of that would have
that's like
worked.
when you told me about JBL, I just imagined like he should have just like cowboyed the fuck out of him.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, so the question becomes, how do you fix Corbin at this point? Is it worth fixing Corbin? I mean, look, dude's like 6'7", and he's a company guy. I don't think he ever fucking complains. He goes out there. He reminds me a little bit of what The Miz is, right? Does any publicity they need, does anything they need him to do. He goes out there, doesn't complain, works hard, wrestles hard, got himself into good physical shape. At this point, I think the way that you fix Baron Corbin is you acknowledge the problem. You have him realize how bad the WWE has fucked up his career. Mm-hmm. You have these vignettes, the little backstage segments. Yeah. Have him go to like a therapist. Mm-hmm. Have him talk to the therapist and be like, dude, I don't know what's wrong. And have that therapist guide him to the realization, you're not the problem. They're the problem. You've relied too much on everybody else at this point. So now you need to figure out how to do it on your own. What happens? Elimination Chamber. During the United States Championship Elimination Chamber match, lights go off. The old Baron Corbin logo comes up. He walks out with a pair of bolt cutters, cuts open the cage, goes in, kicks everybody's ass. All 6 of those dudes just whoops their ass, right?
Oh, sounds amazing.
Doesn't worry about the title. Doesn't care what's going on.
Yeah.
And then walks back out. And everybody's like, what the hell just happened? Why did Corbin just beat everybody up?
Yeah.
And I think for the next 6 months, you have Corbin just randomly come out. Never in a sanctioned match. Lone Wolf just shows up, just beats the life out of somebody and leaves. Have him do it to guys like Karrion Kross, Bray Wyatt, for no fucking reason. Guys that have like that matter and don't explain it. Just have him beat the shit out of them and leave. And then you have him show back up and say, look, I realize titles don't matter. Nothing. Only thing that matters is me out here kicking ass. And you've created a character now for Baron Corbin, the Lone Wolf, who actually matters, who doesn't need titles to win. And you have yourself a winning. That's how you book long-term a guy into a new gimmick. You can't just change music and change outfits and lose the next 3 or 4 matches and expect, well, why aren't the crowd behind
But
them?
I feel like that's their MO kind of right now.
That is the MO. That's the problem with the booking is that it works for comedy characters. If you're funny, that's fine. But if you're any type of character trying to be taken serious, like I think Corbin should be, then you have to do something. And I think that the way to do it is to return him back to the Lone Wolf. But I think like you want to talk about shocking the world, shocking the wrestling world. At Elimination Chamber, the lights go off for no reason. And he comes out and he bolt cuts the lock, pulls the door open.
I'm in
kicks
for that.
Everybody's ass, Bronson Reed included, right?
Yeah.
The big dude. He beats all their ass. It doesn't affect that match.
No.
Right? Because he gets up, leaves, they're down for like 2 or 3 minutes. The whole crowd's screaming, holy shit. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Right? They get back up, they finish their match.
Yeah.
And afterwards, somebody's going to have to be like, hey, by the way, why did Corbin do that? And then no explanation.
Yeah.
Like they can't get a hold of Corbin, and he just rolls on this idea of like, I relied on other people too long. That's how you fix Baron Corbin.